We are here with actor Hecklin, who is one of the stars of MTV's Teen Wolf. Why don't you talk a little bit about when you first wanted to become an actor?
Okay.
And if you could have envisioned what you have become to this point.
Well, I had a weird realization when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. My mom had actually told me that when I was a baby, they'd put me in some commercials and stuff, and I failed miserably at that because I just have like separation anxiety from my mom. So every time they'd take me to go shoot something, I guess I would cry, and it didn't work out too well for me. But
and she's sitting here, but so you don't.
Yeah, exactly. She's
still here.
She still doesn't let it go anywhere. But yeah, I think when I was like 8 or 9 years old, that came up randomly, and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun to like do commercials and stuff. And at that point, me and my little brother thought it'd be great to get some extra money from video games, and that's just what we thought would be kind of cool. So I grew up playing baseball. I had a game this one weekend that we even invited to this random acting school audition, and our game got rained out, so we had nothing else to do that Saturday, and so we said, let's go to this little thing. And we did that, went and got into the school and did about 6 months of classes, got a little agent out in LA, and then just started auditioning for little parts. I think my 5th audition, I got my first job, which was this cool little deal. I was 9 years old, and just kind of went from there. I did a little independent film after that, some commercials. I think even when I was doing the classes and stuff, and when I first started working, I knew I enjoyed it. Baseball was still like my first love, but I did have fun doing it, so I continued to pursue it and took more classes. But I think really when it's kind of set in that this was going to be a thing was when I did Road to Perdition when I was 13. That was the first moment of like, oh, okay, this is like real, and this is probably going to be a career at some point. I was still very focused on baseball and played through high school, played through college, pursued pro ball. But yeah, I think that was the moment of like, okay, this is going to be something someday.
And did you pursue it in college? Or
I know acting or baseball.
I know you were extremely into baseball.
Yeah.
So did you really?
Yeah, I never did any theater classes or drama classes. I would take class in LA with coaches that I knew or schools that I knew of. But through college, I did a TV show through high school and into my first year of college. So I was playing baseball in school and working on the show. I did that for 4 years, and then once I transferred from Arizona State to UC Irvine, I kind of really put the acting thing. I was off the show. I no longer had like a commitment or a contract, so I kind of took that time, did a few guest spots in the off season and things like that, but nothing too serious until I was done playing ball. So that's when Teen Wolf came around a few months later, and it's been that for the last couple of years.
And could you have imagined when you started Teen Wolf of what it would become and the amount of adoration that you guys are receiving?
I don't know that I ever envisioned the fan base being so enthusiastic and so passionate about the show. I know when we shot the pilot, I was kind of the crazy guy who said I think this could go 6 seasons if we didn't make every single year like a year of high school. I thought it could go for a while, and it looks like we're going to surpass that, which is crazy.
That's phenomenal.
We're already on our 5th cycle of 12, so. Yeah, it's crazy what it's turned into. We do the conventions and Comic-Con in San Diego every year. It just grows every time we go down there. So I know it's a very rare thing and a lucky thing to see the fan base continue to grow going into season 4. It's pretty crazy.
And what is one of the things that sticks out the most for you in terms of either a favorite storyline that's already aired or a favorite scene that you have?
I always answer the favorite scene thing pretty easily because I know which one it is, but sometimes I feel bad because I don't want to neglect the other ones I've had. There's been a lot of fun scenes to do with different people, but I think the one that just personally always stands out to me is the scene between Derek when he's possessed and Argent at the end of last season. It was the one time that Derek is always very kind of poised and under control and very deliberate about everything he does and everything he says, and for that whole day just having no rules and just picking things up, just moving things for no reason, and just going absolutely crazy for an entire day as the character was really fun. That was a big treat for me. So I always say that's my favorite scene. But I mean, favorite moments, and it's so hard. We flew in here to Atlanta and flying back in with Posey. It's like, oh my, it's been 2 years since we've been here, since we started shooting the show here the first 2 seasons. And,
That's right.
It just brings back so many memories. So I mean, it's been, this whole experience just kind of all blends into one at some point. You know, we get asked questions like, what happened at the beginning of season 3 and then this episode, and I'm like, I don't. It takes me a minute to find it sometimes, but just the whole experience in general has been a great time. I mean, working with these people for this many years now, it's been a real treat to be on a set where everybody really is, not just the cliche, but really is kind of like a family. It's been an awesome experience.
Did you do a lot more location work when you were down here in Atlanta, or?
Yeah, we did. Atlanta was a lot more location heavy, a lot more exterior night shoots. Now we tend to keep it on stage when we can, and we go outside when we have to, which has made production a little bit easier to handle, and the elements you don't have to battle as much, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, we missed the nights at Cosley Mill and out in the woods. It was always it was one of those experiences that was trying when you're there and sometimes testing, but you look back on it and you're like, oh, that was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
That's cool. Well, do you have any advice you would give to newcomers who are entering the industry? Something that you may have learned, or that?
I think I always said be persistent, because I think you absolutely have to. You can't take rejection personally. That will absolutely destroy you. You just have to, and that kind of goes along with my advice, which is that going into auditions sometimes, I think a big thing of when you're looking for a part, when you're trying to get a part, you tend to try to figure out what they want sometimes. It's a trap that you can kind of fall into, what do you think they want to see in this scene, or what do you think they think this character is? And I think something that I realized eventually was just, when you read a script or when you look at a character, you really kind of have to commit to what you see and what you feel about it. Because, even if you do go in and you're like, well, I think I did what they wanted, and you get the job, well, every day on set's going to continually be, what do they want to see today? What do they want? And to me, it just seemed like eventually, that's not a process that I really want to be a part of. If I can go in and, read for a role the way that I see it, and the director or the producers, whoever else is casting it, agrees and sees it in a similar way, then it's going to be a great shooting experience, and you're meant to get that job. So I think just realize that you can't take it personally. You're never going to get a job that you're not meant to get. It's just not going to happen. So move on, look for the next one, and just go into it and just always fully commit to what you see and what you believe in.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking time to do this.
Absolutely.